If you click this video, it probably means you fell down the same rabbit hole I did. It's 2:16 a.m. You're on your 7th video researching the best travel credit cards or top 10 travel credit cards for Canadians, and you're about to fall asleep. You know the type of video you're on. Someone sitting there reviewing every credit card but missing one key element. What is going to work for you? It's the personalization, and they're all missing it. So in this video, I want to help you by giving you a personal account of the credit card stack that I use and am going into 2026 with, so that you can see how they actually apply in real life. All of this is going to be based on my own experience over the last 2 years. Most of this should apply to people who are Canadian, new to the travel points game, trying to maximize their points with as little effort as possible, and have about 1,000 to 40,000 saved up for a trip between 1 week all the way up to a year or more. Without further ado, let's get into my 3-card stack for Canadian budget travelers to maximize the points and minimize the pain. Here's the lineup: the Wise card, the AMEX Cobalt, and the TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite. Each plays its own unique role in your wallet and on your travels, which I will break down very shortly. But you might be wondering yourself, what about all these other credit cards that you are seeing in the videos that you've been watching up to now? The RBC Avion, the Amex Platinum, other business cards, and free cards as well. Here's the thing, this is not that video. Those cards are either too expensive or too light on the rewards to be worth your while. If you still have questions about anything else though, drop it in the comments and I'll respond to every single one. Full disclosure, I'm not getting paid by any of these companies. This is a completely genuine review, and I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts and how I actually use these cards. So let's dive into the 3-card stack a little bit deeper. Let's start with the Amex Cobalt. This card is really your points builder. What I mean by that is this is the card that you're going to use before you start your trip. As of today, the key features include the following: an annual fee of $191 Canadian, 1,250 points every time you spend $750 in a month on that card, up to 15,000 points for the year, 5 times the points on food and drink, including the grocery store, which is where I have found the most value in this card, 3 times the points on streaming, but I cannot imagine one person who is spending enough money on streaming to actually make this a good benefit, 2 times the points on gas and transit, and 1 times the points on anything else, and the multiplier goes to the dollar amount that you are spending in store. There is also 1 point on anything Amex travel related. All of these points are 1-to-1 convertible to other services like Aeroplan and a lot of other ones, and some that aren't 1-to-1 but still a strong conversion where you could see bonuses as well. There's some other small benefits like skip the line that I haven't really used at all and I'm not going to talk about in this video, but do your own research nonetheless. Here's what I've actually found that matters over the last 18 months using this card. Number 1 is going to be the 5 times the points. Anytime that I go to the grocery store, I am using this card. That means that if I spend $200, I'm actually getting 1,000 points in return. And over the course of a month, going to the grocery store, let's say 4 times, 4,000 points in a month. Can't beat it. And if you're spending $200 every time you go to the grocery store, you're hitting that $750 spend on the card to get that $1,250 extra points each month, up to 15,000 for the year. It's pretty good. To give you guys a really clear picture, I got this card in September 2024 and it is now December 2025. Sierra and I shared this card and we used it for groceries every single month and many other things that we purchased as well. Each time we went to the grocery store, our bill was at least $200, give or take. So when it was all said and done, we have over 100,000 points in just over 1 year. These points are 1-to-1 convertible, like I said, to companies like Aeroplan, Marriott Bonvoy, and British Airways Avios, among others. So how did we use our 100,000 points? To give you the best picture of how you're going to use the American Express Cobalt card. Well, we have a trip coming up, leaving January 13th, which we'll be documenting, so make sure you subscribe. From my own experience, after a year of using the card, we decided to convert all those points 1-to-1 to Aeroplan points. So we had about 100,000 Aeroplan points, and we were booking a flight from Vancouver, BC to Chiang Mai, Thailand. Now for the 2 of us, this flight right now would cost us $1,500. Using only 92,800 points, we are able to knock that price down to only $252.14. I'm not kidding you, I'll show the receipts. Now I want you to keep in mind, obviously we didn't get this flight for free, but this is our first year ever using these travel credit cards, and we used minimal effort to find this deal and make it work for us. This was a big benefit to us, and I'm sure it could be to you as well. With the Cobalt card though, there is one downside. Amex is not accepted everywhere, not even everywhere in Canada. That's why this is not going to be our go-to card while we're on our travels. Rather, it was the card we used to build up our points to get the cheapest flight possible as we leave for our travels. This will be the first card linked in the description, so you can do further research. But if this isn't a travel card, which one is? Well, there's actually two, and we're gonna start with the Wise card. This is actually not a credit card, this is a prepaid debit card that works on Visa. So keep that in mind. You're not gonna be getting as many of the benefits as a typical travel credit card, but I found it to be super useful as a backpacker, particularly in Europe when I went, but I will be taking this to Asia as well. The Wise card is one that most other reviewers completely ignore because it doesn't have the same benefits as any of your travel credit cards typically would, but anywhere that you're traveling that prefers cash, this is gonna be one of the best cards you could use for that case. Like I said, it's not a credit card. This is a multi-currency prepaid debit card. What that means is that it lets you hold on to 40 different currencies in the same bank account. It's super convenient to be able to look at how much Canadian you have versus American versus Australian versus Euro. The whole shebang is in this card. And the reason this card is so awesome at holding many different currencies and pulling out cash when you need it is that it uses real mid-market exchange rates so that when you are exchanging your money, you see exactly what you're paying and the fee attached. Almost every single time you do this, you're gonna get a better transaction fee than that 2.5% bump up on typical credit cards. I use this card all through Europe on a 4-month trip. Not only to pull out cash, which you can do up to $350 a month for free at select ATMs, but also to just tap and pay for almost everything that I needed to while I was away. That was a lot, so let's recap. Most credit cards are gonna bump up your exchange rate on any transaction that you make 2.5%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it definitely adds up. In addition to that, taking a cash advance out on a credit card is just a big no-no. They're going to charge you way more than you want to spend, and I just do not recommend it as financial advice. Not that this is any kind of financial advice, I'm just letting you know my experience. What the Wise card lets you do is pull out cash with no fee at select ATMs up to $350 Canadian per month, which means after that you're paying a slight fee, but it's only 1.75% instead of that 2.5% or more markup that typical credit cards are going to give you on a cash advance. And remember, this is not a points card. This is a way to make sure you have complete transparency over what you're paying in the exchange process from your local currency to 40 plus different currencies in the same card. Bottom line, for me, this card saved me a lot of money in exchange fees, and it kept me sane. I mean, all I did was send money through an e-transfer from my personal bank to the Wise credit card and was able to move that money around into different currencies at the lowest price. And in Europe, when not every country is using the euro, it is great to be able to move money fast. And if you're backpacking and moving countries quickly, moving money between different currencies is going to be key. If this card does sound up your alley, it'll be the second link below, and this is going to be a referral link, but what it's going to give you is 0 fees on your first deposit up to about 800 Canadian, I think, at the time of filming this video. But what about the second travel credit card? Right. Well, this is going to be the TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite. This card is going to be my daily driver on my upcoming backpacking trip. As I mentioned with AMEX is not accepted everywhere, Visa is almost accepted in every location you could possibly think of. From a Tokyo convenience store to a tiny hostel in Chiang Mai, this card should be accepted. Now, keep in mind, this card does use TD rewards points, which some other reviewers are probably going to shit on, but how about you decide for yourself? Here's what the card currently offers. An annual fee of $139 Canadian, which is waived in the first year, an instantly received welcome bonus of 20,000 points, and 165,000 bonus points if you get the card today. That is worth around $660 Canadian, and the way that you get those is by spending $7,500 in the first 6 months of using the card. Not completely unrealistic at all. As with most credit cards, this has a strong insurance coverage. They give you a free 10,000 points on your birthday, a $100 travel credit for Expedia 4 TD bookings, and 4 free lounge vouchers per year. Those last two mentions alone, the $100 travel voucher and the 4 lounge visits per year, those instantly cover your entire annual fee. So for $140, you're able to take 4 lounge visits and get a $100 travel voucher, in addition to all the other benefits this card has. Now, many card hackers, if you will, dislike this card because it's on the TD reward points. They don't transfer like an AMEX point would. Here's my personal take. As a user of AMEX and have transferred my points to Aeroplan, it is a lot of effort to look into where you can maximize the points. Like I said, we want minimal effort and maximum gain. And with this card, you don't have to transfer any points. You're gonna get a solid points bonus in the beginning. And for me, it's just a great option to give me 0 headache and let me spend money anywhere in the world. The way I see it, this card is straightforward, has real perks, and works almost anywhere. It's Visa after all. That'll be the third link in the description below. You might be asking yourself, why haven't I talked about any of these other cards all the other reviewers are talking about? Well, I have 2 good reasons. Number 1 is going to be the annual fee. sometimes I don't want to spend $1,000 on a credit card. And number 2 is going to be the minimum spend to actually get any of the bonuses that they're offering when you sign up for the card. My biggest thoughts on any of these types of cards is that I don't want to stretch my spending to hit a minimum spend for the points. I also don't want to feel uncomfortable about the annual fee of my credit card. I want it to work for me, and that's what this 3-card stack has helped me with. So each of the 3 cards I've talked about work quite well on their own, but let's quickly talk about how I'm going to use them in practice. First, I have been using the AMEX Cobalt. This is the card that I use for my daily, at-home, local transactions to maximize my points. Like I said, I got up to 100,000 points in about a year and was able to get 2 tickets from Vancouver to Chiang Mai for only $252.14 after points. Next up is the Wise card, which is the card that I'm going to use to pull out money when I'm in different countries and to stay completely transparent about the exchange rates when I transfer money from one currency to another. And finally, the TD First Class Travel Visa, which is the one that I'm going to be using as my daily driver abroad because the spend and the points benefits are right there and you get a $100 travel voucher just by having the card. And if I could give you one piece of advice that I give myself is that do not spend too much just to hit a points bonus, because the next thing that you know, you're gonna end up in debt, running from collections, using your travel points to flee the country to live in Mexico. But you have an Amex Platinum that doesn't get accepted anywhere because it's Amex. Now you're homeless, hungry, and living on a beach in a random country. You probably have to fist for food, and you become a surfer. Wait, that actually doesn't sound that bad. The right credit card setup can truly set you up for success and make your money a lot longer when you go traveling. The right combo can literally pay for your flights, extend your trip, and make your life a lot better. But don't just follow the generic advice, make sure it works for you. I do want to say this though. Do your own research. I did a lot of research on this. These are the cards that I think work for me, but you'll have to figure out what works for you best. And if you're anything like me, these are probably the best ones for you. Over the next few months, Sierra and I are going to be traveling through Southeast Asia using this credit card stack. If you'd like to see us traveling, or you'd like to see a future review of these cards after we've put them to use, hit subscribe now and comment any of the questions that you have. Disclaimer, do your own research. This video was created with the information available to myself, and please avoid credit card debt at all costs.